Welcome to the Primo's Musings podcast.
Good evening. This is Shri here with the quick recap of week number 14 of the NFL. What transpired is that the path for the Kansas City Chiefs became much more clearer to the Super Bowl with an unbelievable win against the Chargers. Another incredible last second, a field goal doink that pushed them over the Chargers 19-17 as time expired. And Chiefs continued to, I'm actually marveled at the way they have escaped each and every game. I think it's a testament to their resiliency. It's a testament to their coaching, testament to their quarterback and their defense coming up on big occasions. And good teams find a way to win these games, while mediocre teams find a way to lose these games. And that's the story that's been there for the Chiefs this season. The Chiefs are getting healthy, and I'm completely amazed at how they have been very, very resilient, and they've continued to not to flinch. No moment is big for them. They play situational football better than any other team that I've seen in the NFL. Reminds me of the old Patriots teams that would somehow continue to win. You can never count them out. And having a great quarterback in Patrick Mahomes and an amazing coach in Andy Reid gives them a lot of confidence and a lot of boost that they can always rely on key playmakers at different junctures of the game. And as I mentioned, situational football is very key to their success. So the two teams that I thought would pose some severe challenges to the Chiefs, one was the Pittsburgh Steelers and the other one was the Buffalo Bills. And the Pittsburgh Steelers came up with a huge win. And this was something that initially it seemed that it was a close game, but the Steelers managed to win pretty convincingly against the Browns, 27-14. It seems like what Mike Tomlin did earlier in the season after Justin Fields was actually having a pretty decent season. They always knew that Russell Wilson was going to be their quarterback, and Russell Wilson has definitely enabled them to take to a record of 10-3. They are just the competition for the second and third places between the Steelers and the Bills. And right now the Bills sit at the second spot. They played in an amazing game where Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns, 3 passing, 3 rushing. But towards the end of the game against the Rams, it did seem like there was a little coaching error, which even Brady referred to it on the broadcast. The Bills had 3 timeouts. They could have thrown the ball, kicked a field goal, or something like that. Or if they got a touchdown during that play, then what they would have done is that they would have had 3 timeouts. And that meant that they would still have had a chance for Josh Allen to come back. They had only 2 timeouts and then less than 5 seconds or 6 seconds to go. And that really didn't give them much time at all. This is what we were talking about earlier about situational football, and Brady explained it very well on what that entailed. But anyway, the Bills actually have a much tougher game coming up right now. They do play the NFC best, the Lions. And at this point of time, I think it's a battle between the Bills and the Steelers for the second and third place. The fourth place will be the Texans. They are fine at 8-5 at this point. And they are on charge to win that division. But right now, as I mentioned, the Ravens, the Chargers, and Broncos are right now primed for the playoff spot. The Bengals actually won a big game against Cowboys, 5-8. But the Bengals have a lot of things. Both Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have actually had the best seasons in their career, and they could potentially miss the playoff because they don't have a good defense going for them. And I do feel that the Bengals, they could still win the next 4. The season is set up for them to go win the next 4. They will have to really have Chargers or Broncos or Ravens clearly stumble towards the last 4 games of the season to give them a chance. But I do think that if the Bengals can get in, offensively they can match with any team, but defensively is where I see the problem when it comes to the playoffs. So with that, that's wrap ups the AFC. But well, let's go to the quickly to the NFC. We already talked about the Lions beating the Packers in a close game on Thursday. But for the rest of them, I did say the Vikings would easily win against the Falcons, and it did come to fruition. And then the Buccaneers, by winning against the Raiders at home, have now taken the lead in that division. The other thing is that the Eagles managed to beat the Panthers, but I didn't mean to cover this game in detail. But the reason why I'm going to talk about it a little bit is that it's still definitely the coach for the Panthers, Canales, and then Young has actually turned a corner. The three games that they lost to the Chiefs, Bucks, and Eagles, and they were in a single possession game at the end. So it's something to be proud of from a Panther standpoint. They do have that. They seem to have turned the corner. That bodes well for them going forward. But coming back to what I talked about, the Rams beating the Bills, that was a shootout, 44-42. It's an excellent Sunday game with Matthew Stafford and Josh Allen going back and forth. Josh, as I mentioned, had 6 touchdowns. Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and the Bills and the Rams offense was too good. They actually had a very big, sizable lead, and the Bills always had to play catch up. They did have a chance to win the game, but they were playing catch up throughout the game. So with that, let's quickly talk about the NFC standings. The Eagles definitely seem to be primed to win that division, and the Commanders could be in the wild card spot. The Seahawks, by getting the win against the Cardinals, have moved to 8-5. The Rams have jumped to 7-6, the second spot, and the Lions are 12-1 there, and then the Vikings are 11-2. So they're very close there, and then the Packers obviously at 9-4. So in the NFC, the Eagles, it still could come down to Seahawks and Rams because they do have to play each other, and it could come down the wire in that division. And the NFC North, it could be the Lions and Vikings and the Packers making it there to the playoffs. And then the Buccaneers or the Falcons, because that's just a 1-game lead. Anything could flip. And who knows, even the Saints may make a push there. I mean, they're 5-8, but they could easily win the next 4 and go 9-8. But I don't see they have the game. They have the players at this point. So in the NFC, think about this. The Lions are 12-1. The Vikings are 11-2. And even if the Lions drop 1, and say the Vikings climb, the Lions could go from being the best team in the NFC to a 5 seed. So anything could happen. That's the beauty about the NFL. But I don't see the Lions losing. I mean, they do play the Bills, and that's going to be a great matchup. I'm really looking forward to that matchup. And unfortunately, it's not the only game in town. I definitely think, the Packers Seahawks, that's a good matchup for Sunday night. And then you actually have 2 Monday nights this time, I think. But I do think that they should have flexed the Bills and Lions to a Monday night, and then move the Bears and Vikings to the Sunday 4:25 game. So the Lions Bills is a marquee matchup of the week right now, and looking forward to that. It'll be a battle for sure. And then we quickly go into the week 16, which will be more like that's when it starts to heat up. So with that, we wrap up the week number 14, and let's see if things do shuffle after week number 15. Thanks again for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you for listening. Primo will be back soon.